Welcome to Talk Time with Sharmin. I'm your host, Sharmin Prince. Welcome, happy Sunday. I hope that you had an enjoyable week and is looking forward to the new week ahead and you really enjoyed your weekend. If you are celebrating your birthday, happy birthday. May you continue to live life to your fullest for the remainder of your days. If you're celebrating an anniversary of whatever sort, happy anniversary. And if you lost a loved one, condolences to you and your family. And congratulations for any milestone that you have attained. And of course, we cannot not say congratulations to the million students around the globe who stood up for themselves yesterday. And really, that's gonna be the first half of our discussion, but we really have to compliment those students, those young people, and it's exciting to see where they're going. Nevertheless, um, to all my Guyanese brothers and sisters, Easter is this great weekend for great holiday for us. So those of you that went home, be safe and enjoy. Those of us that are here, we'll make the best out of Easter and enjoy some cross buns. Next week, I guess we'll talk about our traditions and the different things that we do during our Easter holiday. Today we were supposed to have a guest that I was really excited to have, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she will not be able to join us. And so the backup is that, like for the first half an hour, we are going to talk about this new movement that was created after the Florida shooting, the bravery, the courage, the boldness, the tenacity of the young people, the passion, the motivation that they are really unafraid and bold and is taking a stand. And that is remarkable. I am happy that I'm able to see that and even live through a part of it because it's exciting to know that the children are speaking out. So, welcome. You can like and share. I'm unable to share. I've been blocked by Facebook again. I don't know when I'll be out of that, but I've been blocked again. So please share it for us. Yep. Need some music. Hi, Petal. How are you? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk Time with Charmin. If it's this your first time, This is Talk Time with Sharmin. I'm your host, Sharmin Prince. This show is aired every Sunday at 6 p.m. Facebook Live. Do you know that around the globe yesterday, there were a million plus people who participated in that march around the globe? I think that's so, so fascinating. It is such an exciting thing to see. I did not go, and I felt like I missed something, um, something as great as that. I was not able to participate in. Nevertheless, I watched it. I Parts of it was very emotional when you see and you hear the passion from those young men and women. Um, it's just exciting. It's very emotional that they have to fight for themselves. Our children decided that we can't do it, so they're going to do it on their own. And that's a powerful, powerful statement. Um, and I believe this is a movement that has started, and there will be no stopping these young people because they are fearless. They are fearless. So we're living in quite an exciting time, um, where I mean, to witness this. And I'm going to make a comparison later when there are more people on so that we can have a discussion. Um, because while I was reading, preparing for this show, the thought struck me, and I said, "Yeah, but that group hasn't done anything." So it will be interesting when I make that comparison to hear what people would say. Yesterday, there were over 200,000 students and their supporters in that march in Washington, D.C. You had across the globe, they estimated it at a million. But think about 200,000 students and their supporters in Washington standing up and fighting for a cause like stricter gun laws. So it would be, I believe that they are going to get something. Their demands are going to be met. How much of it, I don't know, but I know that their demands are going to be met. And after that, there will be no stopping these young people. And we will see, I'm predicting we will see a lot of changes happening. Um, I'm predicting that. So welcome everyone. We are talking about the march and the march for our lives and the movement that began. I really do believe it's a movement, and I'm so excited that I'm alive and I can see it. And it was indeed an emotional, um, all of them, the one in Washington, those that I watch, all the clips, all the lives, it was very emotional. Two students wrote a song, and it was an emotional song. The thing about that is that these are adolescents, they're not even young adults that are ready to demand, that know what their needs are, and they're ready to demand it. And it's admirable. Um, in in 2007, we had the Virginia Tech. 32 people were killed. In 2012, we had Sandy Hook, 26 killed. 2014, you had Isla Vista, 6 killed. 2015, the Umpre Call, 9 were killed. And then we had the Florida. Um, they said I think I saw something in 1966, 15 were killed at the University of Texas. And with the information and technology, the information is so readily available at your hands. And during their ceremonies, those students identify the number of deaths over the decades. And because of technology, you're able to get that information, and it's pretty alarming. And they decided that we're not going to allow this or sit back and allow this to continue. We have to do something about it. And look what they did. Around the globe, 1 million students and supporters. 1 million. 3 days after those 17 people were killed in Florida, this young woman, her name is Emma Gonzalez. She gave the speech, and when she gave that speech, she had no idea that from her speech, a movement will be birthed. And here you have the movement of the March for Our Lives. Yesterday, she stood there. She was frozen for a minute or so, because she couldn't believe it. 1 million strong around the world. And I think someone asked today, why the students in Guyana didn't do it. And you ponder, you're like, you guys, you know our mindsets and um thinking. But I'm sure if someone maybe from UG had thought about it, they would have had some representation. But it would be nice to see the students in Guyana beginning to do the same, to follow suit, or even just in support of March for Our Lives. Um, Earlier, when I started, I said while preparing and reading, a thought came to me. And it's after I saw the K Square was at the march. I called Kanye and Kim K Square and other celebrities, but when I saw him, the thought came. I'm like, we in our communities, we lose so many of our brown and black boys and girls to gun violence. And um, the the mobilization the of these students um, makes me think long and hard about us and the gun violence in our communities, and there's so much that we can do, but we seem not to be able to do it. What do you think is the reason? Um, because there would be the marches when something happened and the outcry, but a week, 2 weeks, a month later, it's business as usual. Um, but it's something for us to think about because we're going to see with organization, strategic planning, mobilization, and these are qualities and expertise that is prevalent and very strong in our communities. But those are some of the strategies that the students use, and they're going to get what they want. They're going to be um, they may not get all that they want, but I think there will be some stricter laws on assault rifles. But what it is that is preventing us from standing up against ourselves to stop the gun violence in our communities. Why aren't uh, I mean just just conceptualizing the lives that we have lost in our communities, but the outcry is not as uh, as deep, as profound, impacting enough for us to mobilize ourselves and our resources and make an impact or do something. Is it just me? Did anyone else talk about that? I hope that I am not the only person um, that thinks like that. Did anyone think about it? Um, I am going to read Petal's response. I think I saw something. Yeah, I hope I'm not the only person and I'm not weird, with that. Okay, Pat said, in their fight for change, they're teaching older adults, their parents and others, a new way of getting things done. I agree. Um, I honestly, I was watching it on television, and I am saying, I never thought that I would have seen um, something like this, where uh, young people and with the use of technology, information is disseminated in such in rapid speed, and so it makes mobilizing and organizing these marches and whatever so easy, and it's it's interesting and so great to look at and to see how they're utilizing the technology and the resources, I should say, the resources of the day. They're teaching us that we may talk about it, but they're going to talk and act. And when they act, they're going to stand as a united body. And it is scary. It is scary to say the least. Um, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. But my question, back to my question, am I the only person that thought about that? And what prevents us from standing up to ourselves? Are we afraid to confront each other? We're no longer our brother and our sister's keeper. What it is, because we lose a lot of our young people in our communities to gun violence, but we don't confront each other about it. Why? Anyone? Why? We don't see the outcry or that kind of mobilization is because it's within. And you I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts after the idea came to me. I'm looking at it and I'm like, whoa, why don't we confront each other when the violence is occurring in our communities? Why aren't we making demands? We're afraid? Could be. I don't know. Sharon said, in my opinion, I think that we have been doing a lot of outcry in the Black community here in the US. But again, because of the system, it is not viewed the same way. The media, the politicians, and even, but now, unfortunately, the crimes are spreading into other neighborhoods. So the white kids are using the white privilege to start the fight. And with the use of technology, they are connecting. Okay. Sharon, great point. Great point. And they are not as tolerant and accepting as we are. That um, with the violence, they're not, and we should take a page out of their book and confront the violence in our communities. Um, Tracy, is it? I mean, gun violence might be new to the Guyanese community, um, and but here in the U.S., it's not new. And Tracy, even with even we're seeing gun violence in Guyana, and the sad thing about it, none of the students joined the March for Our Lives yesterday. You didn't have a march in Guyana because I guess they don't see the need or to stand in solidarity or and there are a few gun violence young people that lose their lives to gun violence in Guyana. But we can learn something from these students. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I'm looking at it and I'm excited. And well, you guys know that I just think differently and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this this is going to become great, but at the same token, it could be very dangerous. And there is a study that came out that say that found that students who participate in like student councils and advocacy and things like that during their academic years are proven to be much more successful than the students who never participated. So this is pretty interesting um, because when you look at some of the students that spoke, would assess that this might be a shy person, um, and the emotions that were connected in their speeches, that were included in their speeches, connected to you. And I don't know if you haven't watched any, just find go to YouTube or to some of the news station and listen to it and look at it and look at the emotions that were present. Ah, amazing. Those young people are going to do amazing things. Um, yeah, Tracy, I realized that you were referring to the Guyanese culture, that it's new. And that's why I mentioned that I really believe the UG students and even some high school students should have joined the solidarity of March for Our Lives. Um, I'm just reading the comments. Sorry. Okay, Tracy actually added some resources. Sharon, yes. Um, I totally agree. But um, Petal, you said that it was a teachable moment. It was. I uh, I have never thought that I would have ever seen that, and just from a simple speech from one of their peers, and I know that young people around the world, because they've there is this thing, people follow what America does, and I really think that young people around the world are going to begin to stand up for themselves, and adults have to protect them because of their fearlessness, and their tenacity, um, and they are so good with technology, so they need our protection. And I hope that more brown and black families get their children involved in this movement. I'm looking across, despite what, I'm looking across the crowds, and every march I go to, be it women's march, whatever march that they have, we are not well represented. And it is something that we need to consider. Um, you hear people say, like, I don't have time for that. I have two jobs. Or what reason is. But those of us that can do it, let's begin to participate and let our voices be known. I saw one of the speakers yesterday, a young man, encouraging his peers to be registered to vote. So we need to begin to encourage your neighbor, your friends that may have high school and middle school students um, in their households. Encourage them to participate. Find out when is the next march. Let your church or your synagogue or whatever you attend pull the young people and have them participate so that we can have a representation um, in those marches. Yeah. but I love where it's going. Um, I really do, because we'll see a lot more of it. Those young people are not going to allow this to go. So I'm excited uh, at what the movement, the impact the movement will have on on the world, on the world. And of course, nobody answered if I was the only, if, so it seems that I'm the only person that thought about, that made that comparison and thought about why we don't stand up and fight for ourselves. So, oh, you guys just confirm um, that maybe my thinking is a little different. In the past I would have said weird, but no, it's just different. Um, Sometimes you just have to embrace and accept your difference, whatever it is. Just embrace it. So, because no one else said, well, I thought the same thing. So I guess I'm the only person that thought about it. But I did. Now I wanted to um, divide this show into two, just experimenting. And after we spoke about that, I wanted us to talk about these charter schools where um, a lot of our children. Oh, Peter said, "Oh, please repeat the question." So before we continue, the question is, am I the only person that taught to compare those school shootings with the black on black um, crime that occurs in our communities, and the the young people just got tired of it, and it's not something that happens every year, but they got tired of it, and they're like, enough is enough, we're standing up. Why that same outcry hasn't occurred in our community? And so I thought about that. So I was wondering if I'm the only person thought about that. Okay, so it's not weird. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a reminder, if you haven't shared, share the video. This is Talk Time with Sharmin. I am your host, Sharmin Prince, and this show is on live at 6 p.m. every Sunday. Um, I wanted us to switch a little. We're still in the school, in the vein of with the school, talking about academics or school, but the charter schools. Um, a lot of the schools, or there are a lot of charter schools in our community. Our president is, I think he likes the charter school idea. However, not all of our children are can handle the the demands, the rigor, the pressure of the charter school. And we have some of our children that are beginning to have panic attacks. and anxiety. Do do you have any of you that might be watching? Do you have a child in charter school? And what is the experience? The question is, or do you know someone who might have kids in two or three children or one child in a charter school? Um, what is the experience? Oh, Tracy, you said yes. Do you have a child in a charter school? I want to hear a few on my Facebook page. I actually put a link. So if you want to join in the discussion, you could click the link and I'll put you up on the screen. But I want to hear some experiences of the children that are in the charter school. Um, so Marlon says the hours are longer and much more demanding. Curriculum is geared for the high flyers. Now, Marlon, thank you so much. Marlon, do you want to, because I have a lot of questions, like what is the process? How do they identify that this child is a good match or a suitable candidate for a charter school? Because I don't have kids, so I don't know those things. But how what's the assessment? Um, how do they know that this child is the child might be ready academically or intellectually, but that child might not be able to withstand the emotion, the pressure, the emotional pressure that accompanies the curriculum in a charter school. So how are those assessments made? Or are they even considering the child's emotional ability psychologically to withstand the stress? Hi, Colin. I'm sure you're enjoying good weather in Barbados. Thank you for joining. Um, I mean, it is a good topic for a panel discussion, but I mean, we're talking now. Anyone that wants to participate, I have 1, 2, 3 slots. You guys can just click on the link and you can join the live because I have questions. So, oh, admission is done by a lottery. Now, I may want my child to attend a charter school just for the social status, if there and if any, that is assigned. So I put my child's name in the lottery. My child I we my child is accepted. There is no assessment done. I do not have any idea if my child can psychologically withstand the pressure of a charter school, and I send my child to charter school. Oh, they're magnet schools too. What is the difference? I don't know. I was just hearing about a charter school. I was hearing about a child, um, and I thought that really, really, Sharon. Just turn the phone to the scenery while you talk. Um, uh, right, Marlene. Some children struggle to cope with the standards of the work. That is why the lottery, like, might be a good, would have been, may have worked years ago, 10 years ago, or whenever they introduced the charter schools. However, that's not working. There need to be an assessment. If children are struggling with the standards and the expectations, there need to be reconsideration, because now when a child goes to the charter school, start experiencing anxieties and panic attacks. Yes, the child may have to leave the charter school, but then that child and his parent has something to deal with sometimes for the rest of their lives. So, and some parents also need to be realistic, because um, you have to be able to make a good assessment of your child. And um, if you see your child struggling, please don't push them and say, well, you can do it. If your child is struggling, please take your child out of that charter school. Could you imagine having anxiety attacks and panic attacks because of a test, um, or because of an assignment and all these various assignments that you have? That's like the military, like boot camp. I agree, Marlene, about the diagnostic test. That's why I asked about the assessment, because honestly, I thought when I heard the charter school, I thought that there was an assessment. I thought that these these students have to pass an assessment, both intellectual and psychological, because if if the curriculum is rigorous, um, you have to have a certain emotional strength that you can push through, and not not all of us have that. So this somebody needs to do a study. Um, I really think that maybe parents need to stand up now and request that, um, or ask questions. Why is the curriculum so rigid? Why is the structure so rigid? why aren't children being given a psychological test before they're admitted into the charter schools? If you're a parent, you need answers, and you have to demand the answers. You might be the one to lead the cause. Find all the parents that are struggling with their children in the charter school. But the smaller classes and lower student ratio per teacher, what does the curriculum? The curriculum is not the same. That's so the curriculum is not the same like the public school. Um, so it's rigid. But as Marlene said, and I said that earlier, some people are submitting the lottery application for their children without even making an assessment because because of the status quo. Oh, your child attends a charter school. But as I said earlier, is your child ready for that? Can your child handle that? The link is on my page, and it's on the clipboard, Tracy. There is a clipboard on the live, but there's also a link on my page. You can just click that link and you come in so that we can have a conversation and and talk about this, um, because I'm interested. I just heard the conversation. I was like, I wish I can get a few charter school students who are bold enough to talk about their feelings and how this is affecting them and even their parents. And let's talk about this. This needs attention because if I have 10 assignments, I'm only able to complete two. And when I get to the third, I'm having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. That's serious. Um, Sharon said the curriculum is the same. Okay, in my opinion, the money should be going to regular public schools where they can reduce class size and pay qualified teachers making. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess I am not too familiar with the public school and the charter school and the magnet school. So now you guys are going to make me have to go and learn the difference between the magnet school, the charter school, um, and the public school. Well, I understand what's the public school. Um, let's take a break so I can send Tracy the link, um, because I know she's going to, we'll be able to have a discussion as opposed to um, me talking and reading comments. I would just like to send Tracy the link. Excuse me. Welcome back to Talk Time with Sharmin. I'm your host, Sharmin Prince, and um, Tracy. I hope you got the link. I sent it to you. Um, oh, Marlene, thank you so much. Um, you can get as much from me because we can just they can come in and come out. That would be perfect because I really think that it's important for us to hear the student and the parent opinion, assessment. So that would be appreciated, Marlene. And you could just let me know, hey, so I have a guest. Hold on.
Hello.
Hi, Tafara.
Hi.
Oh, can you hear me good? You're hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, thank you for your bravery. And so, what is your name?
My name is Tafari Carter.
And you are a student of a charter school?
Yes.
How long have you been a student of the charter school?
For 5 years, 5 or 6.
Okay. And um, how is it?
Well, they, it's kind of like a little strict, but
Mhm.
not too strict.
Mhm.
And the rules there is kind of it's like I don't know really know how to explain it. Uh,
Take your
it's too
time.
harsh. The rules there is too harsh.
Oh, so the rules are harsh. And when you
Yes.
say the rules are harsh, what do you mean?
Like for if you do something accidentally, you the consequence won't be that harsh. But if you do it again, the consequence is gonna affect the person. Is gonna affect the person mentally because they won't want to do anything else.
Okay. Um, so you find that do you think that the actual work is difficult and it's too much?
Yes,
Why?
I'll say it's too much because they're giving us work back to back and tests back to back, so we won't have we will have enough time to practice for it. But sometimes people won't remember, or they will get confused. They will still get confused.
So the volume of the work to Farai is a lot, right? Is a lot of
Yes,
work and it's different kind of work.
yes,
And let's say if it's it's four subject, but it's all four of them is a lot of work
yes. Sometimes,
sometimes. And
yes.
are you able to remember and retain all that information?
Not really, because they're pressuring us to try to remember or to keep on practicing it.
Okay.
And they're like, since we're doing work back to back to back, we don't really, we feel like we don't have enough time to prepare for the for any type of test that they're gonna give us, because we already did work back to back and we're really stressed out.
So with all the coursework you're doing, you still have to prepare for your test.
Yes,
And sometimes that becomes a struggle and difficult.
yes.
In the charter schools, um, are there courses that where you can play a musical instrument or a game?
Well, yeah, we have classes called specials, and our classes are art class and dance class. But dance class you have to do it in sixth grade, but only one class in fifth grade can only do it. And art class is any grade.
So those
And
are, and what about games like basketball, football?
we don't have that subject anymore.
I asked that for a reason because I was trying to see if a part of their strategy um, was to create a balance. So it's obvious uh, you there need to be a balance, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
and our break we have breaks, but it's not really that long. And after break, we have classes and classes, and we have recess. But with the recess, we can't really do anything now because um because I really forgot.
that happens to
And
me, but I'm old. You remembered now?
and yeah, and also for lunch, we have to wait until a certain time. Like I'll say, like we come in at 7:30. Classes start at 7:30, 7:39, and so we have lunch all the way until 12 o'clock.
How many hours a day are you at school?
Uh, 6, I think.
Okay. Okay. Because I was talking to someone else this morning and they told me like 6 or 8 hours of in the charter school, and it just didn't sound too right to me. This is something that I really need to become familiar with.
Mhm.
So, um, let's say you feel uh, pressured or stressed,
Yes.
and could you go to your teacher and have a conversation and tell her that how you're feeling?
Uh, I would say yes and no, because sometimes they won't. If we're doing something like a test or anything, we can't really go outside. And if we ask for permission, we they will usually either say 90.9% they will say no, and half of
Hmm.
the time they will say yes. And we only have one kind of like a therapist there, so
Hmm. Wow. So you can't share that you're feeling really stressed out um and have someone that you can sit and talk to.
Yes, some teachers volunteered, but it's not really enough because there's a lot of kids in each class, and
Hmm.
regardless, the whole school there's a lot of kids, so they it's not really enough for the kids to talk to the teachers.
So school starts at 7:15 and ends at 6?
No, it ends at it ends at 3 o'clock, but we have a program called after school, but not a really lot of kids ca- can go to after school.
So it's 7:15 to 3.
Yes,
So that's 8 hours of school.
yes,
And then you have an extra 3 hours of after school.
yes. Then after school is 4 or 3:30 to 6 o'clock.
And you do the same academical work during after school, right? No?
No,
Okay.
well, in some classes we do academic work, and some classes we have fun or we just do anything.
Okay. So at least after the 8 hours while you're at during after school, you have an opportunity to relax and de-stress
Yes.
and have fun.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. What about the charter school that you like?
You're saying like what I like about my charter school?
Mhm.
Well, what I like is that uh we get like we have jobs, like kind of like jobs
Mhm.
that we get to do, and we get rewarded for that, but not really not all the time.
Oh, so you have jobs, like, so you have responsibilities that come with those jobs, those roles.
Yes.
Okay. And what are some of those jobs?
Like we you get to like help out with lunches, clean up classrooms sometimes, and help out with like the main like a main office.
Okay. Oh, nice. And do you like doing that?
Well, I have a job, but it's just that I don't really get rewarded for that sometimes. Or
And you
sometimes they
want to
would
be
just
rewarded.
and sometimes they would switch the jobs. Like if I have a job, they will switch it,
Have
and
you
that's not
have you
really
spoken?
fair.
I'm sorry, Tafari. Have you spoken to your teacher and told her that you think you should be rewarded more for the job that you have?
No, not yet, but I'm thinking of doing that.
I think you should. You should have a conversation with her and let her know that you want to be rewarded for the job that you're doing. And let her tell you what you might need to improve on so that you can be rewarded.
Mhm.
Right? So, um, how many recess do you have during the 8 hours?
Well, it's not. We only have one long break, but we have little breaks. Like
Hmm.
we have a regular break and a food break where we get to eat the snacks that we got, and and the recess is when we have like a long period of break time,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then after recess we go down and relax. But they telling us we have to get books and not just sit there and put your head down or just do nothing.
Hmm. If you can change one thing, what would you change?
Um, I would change the rules,
Hmm.
and it should be the and if I can't change the rules, I should say that like the rules should be fair and not unfair, because some of the rules are half of the rules are unfair, and the other half is kind of fair.
Okay. And what is unfair about the half that is unfair?
Um, like can you repeat the question?
What is unfair about the rules? Tell me about those that are unfair.
So like if you do the wrong thing accidentally, you will get a consequence. But if like a few days later you do it again and you don't really remember that you got a consequence for it, they will give you a consequence that was harsher than before.
Hmm. Oh. And how does that
Well,
make you feel when that happens?
I feel like it's unfair because they don't really they wouldn't like sometimes they would talk to you about it, but they would just skip to conclusions and give you a consequence just for one little thing.
Oh, and that seems to bother you a lot, Safari, because this is the second time you mentioned that, and that bothers you, right?
Yes.
How can you change anything pertaining to that?
Well, if I can, I could just like talk with the principal or something and try to persuade him to change the rules.
And if that doesn't work, what else can you do that is in your control?
I would just try to push through and just follow just like try to not pay attention to the consequence if I do something wrong.
Beautiful, beautiful. And just enjoy the experience. You're such a smart guy. I mean, you do this like a pro. It's like you've been interviewed and so many times, so this is nothing, you know? You make it look so effortless and very good. I like
Thank
that.
you.
So I like that you can just not, if you know, if you do something and even if it's accidental and there is a consequence attached to it, um you're just gonna accept the consequence. But what are some of the consequences? Because it really seemed to bother you.
Well, sometimes I wouldn't really accept the consequence if it's something little, but if it's something big, I will accept it.
And what are some of those consequences? What is an example of a consequence?
So like they have this rule called like if you do something, it's like a level one or a level two. It's basically like it was it's like strikes, but the strike their type of strikes it will affect a a scholar dollar thing that they put on your like resume as they call it,
Mhm.
and like if I like come out a line that they said to form, if I come out of the line to go tie my shoe, they will automatically think that I'm leaving the class without permission, or if I ask a teacher if I could do something and I go, the another teacher would think that I'm doing something that's irresponsible. So they would
Okay.
give me like a level one or a level two and a level three too.
Hmm.
And it really upsets children to for them to get really angry and start to get a little physical with some teachers.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they will get suspended or for a certain amount of days or weeks, and sometimes they will get to the point like they'll get them so upset that they'll like try like get expelled or something.
Hmm. So the consequences are really harsh.
Yes,
Um, so your solution is not to focus on the consequence, right?
yes.
You think you could handle that?
Yes and
All
no,
right.
because sometimes they will do it. They'll give you the consequence over something little, but I will understand. Well, I won't understand because it's something little. It's nothing big like me yelling at another student or something. But if I do something like sneeze during the test or like stand up without permission to get tissue, I wouldn't understand if they give me like a big consequence for that.
Okay.
Just
So
just for
the
something
the
small.
the teacher is the one that chooses the level of consequence, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. So it's the teacher's discretion.
Yes.
So maybe you need to have a conversation with your teacher.
Yeah, they have this thing now called like a demerit concern, and sometimes they will read it and then they will just automatically throw it away,
Hmm.
like they don't care
Really?
about what you think.
Wow.
And they're saying that they do care, but they're showing that they don't.
It's I'm really impressed with the way that you can articulate. But it would be nice for you to have a conversation with your teacher.
Mhm.
Try that. Try having that conversation with your teacher. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, and I hope that the charter school, the things that are happening are not affecting you emotionally to the point that when you get as an adult, you're still suffering the consequences from whatever emotional uh, trauma the work may have caused. So having a conversation with your teacher would be very good, and maybe um, getting other smart kids like yourself to who think the same way like you do, and you guys going to the principal as a group to share your concerns, like 4 or 5 of you.
Yeah.
Um, Also share with your parents that when they go to the PTA, they can raise that because that kind of consequences, it's it's creating a certain kind of mindset. So you should get with your get a few smart guys like you, and you guys start doing some research. So when you go to the principal, you're going to share your experience there and show them what research has found.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And so when you guys ask for the meeting, he must not think 1 second what is going to be presented to him. He wouldn't have an idea, or her. So, get smart guys and gals like you, and you guys form a group, communicate daily, and divide the responsibilities among the group, and then go see the principal
Mhm.
and have a conversation. Anything else you want to share with us, Tafara? You did so wonderful. I am so impressed. Um, you got to come and be my guest again, all right? Yes,
Yes.
Tafara? Okay, well,
Yes.
thank you so much, Tafara. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for your boldness and your courage, and for being such a smart young man and articulating your answers and your responses the way that you did, like a professional. Great job. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, guys, that was Tafara. Oh, we are 23 minutes over. This has been Talk Time with Charmin. I want to thank you all for tuning in and for being a part of the show today. And I want to thank my guest, Tafira Carter, for being on the show. And 6 p.m. every Sunday, Facebook Live, Talk Time with Charmin. Tell your friend, tell your neighbor. Good evening. Have a great week, safe week, prosperous and healthy week. And I will see you here again next Sunday. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good night.
You too.